It had been a very busy time on Sodor. Many jobs were getting done, and the engines were being rushed up their wheels. Sir Topham Hatt did notice this and said to himself, "God damn it, I need help." "Excuse me, sir, you're wanted on the telephone." "Bother the telephone once again." Sir Topham Hatt answered the telephone. "Aha, of course, narrator, I get it." Sir Topham Hatt picked up the telephone. "Narrator, pick up the telephone, you Pittsburgh penguin." "Silence!" Sir Topham Hatt answered the telephone. "Hello, speaking? Yes. Wait, what? Oh, goodness gracious, thank you for telling me." And Sir Topham Hatt rushed out of his mansion, drove out to Knapford to alert the engines at the station. "I am sorry if I am in a hurry here, engines, but I just got off the telephone with an important visitor. He will arrive here sometime this evening." "It must be a Grand Express engine, sir." "No, Gordo, it isn't. This engine and crew were found in New Zealand, and surely Roman and Archie are on the railway in New Zealand, Thomas. But I must implore that this engine is twice the size of Roman and Archie combined." "Oh no, a big boy loco from New Zealand? No, god damn it, it's not. You will see the engine this evening. Now I must be off. The railway board wants to see me about something else." And Sir Topham Hatt walked violently away towards his car, putting the key into the ignition, and drove up like a jackrabbit on Bluebell. Must be a new brand of, well, whatever, Mr. Narrator. "I wonder who the engine could be. Maybe it's an engine that's come to the railway before, or one that gave us trouble in the past before. We have dealt with everything we have seen, James, but what, Gordon? What of this engine as well? Faceless. But it's a unique build, an engine well looked after by its caretakers." "Gordon, seriously, are you on Welsh coal?" "No, James, Gordon has a valid point. The engine or whoever is arriving sounds unique in many ways. Let's get back to work before there's further confusion and delay. Sir Topham Hatt has gotten a lot in his mind since Brandon and Murdoch being captives on the other railway." "Murdoch would not like to be reminded of that." The engines agreed, and resumed their work all day. The engines couldn't get their mind off this mysterious engine that Sir Topham was talking about. However, as the moon rised over the sun, all the engines arrived back at the sheds, waiting for the new arrival. But it didn't come. Am I missing something here? I am concerned it could be lost. Nonsense. It's surely in Paddington. Gordon, who heard Duck's remark wisely, remained silent. He had an argument with Duck and the big city engine many years ago about, well, the name of the station at King's Cross. "I say the engine is." Then Gordon was interrupted by a loud booming whistle in the distance. That must be the new engine. Thomas was indeed correct. Hopping towards the engine sheds was a massive, colossal tender engine, painted in a pure crisp blue with gold and red. It had 4 large driving wheels and a cowpuncher in front with 4 large bone wheels. The engines were very shocked. Thomas spoke up. "Excuse me, hello, you must be the engine in question. Well, welcome to Sodor," and Thomas was quickly interrupted. Stepping out of the cab was the driver, a large athletic build wearing a white red shirt with a vest that had a large S on the left side. Everyone froze for a moment. Then Edward broke the silence. "Excuse me, sir. My name is Edward. Welcome to Sodor, and..."
"A pleasure to meet you all. This must be the island of Sodor, am I correct?"
The engines were confused and a bit intimidated by the newcomer. "But please don't hurt us. We're too young to die." "Forgive me, good sir. Percy here is a bit, nervous from your presence and..."
"No offense taken. However, I must speak with your supervisor in question. Sir Topham Hatt, was it?"
"Yes, our controller, Sir Topham Hatt. He's currently asleep."
"Then I must be off."
"Wait, whoa. Can we start over? You haven't told us who you are, let alone of your amazing engine."
"My apologies if I sounded abrupt. My name is Daggeron. I am the Solaris Knight. And here is my Megazord, the Solar Streak Megazord."
"It's an honor for you to join the railway. We heard a lot of your brave efforts against the Master and his tyranny a long time ago." "Hold up. Megazord? So you tell me, that this engine was a transformer?"
"Not exactly. It's instantly a vessel that fights against enemies that are in the way and are too tall for us Power Rangers to fight at our normal height."
"Does the engine have a name?"
"It's called the Solar Streak Megazord, And no, it can't speak or move on its own without me or Gingy.
Daggeron, after the final battle, what did happen to the other Rangers?
They went their separate ways to tie up loose ends, and I remained in Briarwood to help out until me and Gingy had to restore order in the other dimensions.
You're telling me this engine can travel through time and other galaxies? If I recall, Daggeron, sir, the engine had 4 coaches.
You're correct. My Zord can travel through time, dimensions, and galaxies and other parts of the cosmos. Even though our powers were exhausted after our final battle, yes, we did regain them over time. I helped mentor a former enemy of ours to be under the tutelage until the time was necessary for me to take some time off. Solar Streak, however, didn't need a lot of time to recover, even the being restored after the Master's defeat in Briarwood. The ability to form the Solar Street Megazord was unavailable due to the lack of magic needed to form the Zord, so to ensure the safety of the engine, I safeguarded it in a shed not far from here, where 2 engines were found sometime before the world came to an end.
You mean Roman and Archie? They were found, but since you've been restored, and are working on the railway.
That's very good news.
Say, Daggeron, who is this Gingy, and did he travel with you to the island?
Of course, here he is. Stepping
out of the engine was a cat-like genie. He seemed eager to meet the Sodor engines. Hello, pleased to meet you. I'll say, where's the bathroom? I've no comment. Use Gordon's tender, take my advice. It's a great place to, don't you dare finish that sentence, James, or I swear to Altry, I will...
Here you go, Gingy, some privacy from these jokers.
We're not jokers, sir. We're...
Quite a handful, I know.
We're sorry, Mr. Daggeron, sir. The others like to, get fired up, if you know what I'm saying.
Indeed I do, Thomas. Is there a place for me to rest for the night? I must complete my mission soon.
Does it involve, magic?
Indeed it does. Say, are you that engine called Brandon?
Yes, sir, that's me.
Yes, Brandon, you're right. I'm here to defend a railway from an evil being.
Diesel 10 has since reformed, as have Splatter and Dodge.
No, I am aware that there's 2 other engines that have since tried to well follow their path.
Daggeron explained, and the engines listened, and the cackles boo, and know it's 2, and I means through, chibbity chim chim chiroo. Narrator, come on! For the love of Okay, Brandon or me, or just focus. 9 on the 4th wall breaking. Okay, fine. Anywho, Daggeron explained.
There are 2 engines that are after the magic on this railway. I must find it before those engines get to it first.
Then Bear spoke up. If one of them is Dudley, I swear. Who's the Irish Bear? It could be someone else. Wait a minute. I recognize one of them from memory. Who would that be, Bear? Levi. The yard was silent. Boko was deeply shocked. Bear, if Levi is after the magic, then who, Boko? Out with it! Roderick. The treacherous Diesel, oh Lord, not him. The sheds were in a huge uproar. Then Daggeron spoke up.
Right, that's enough, all of you!
The yards once again were silent.
I don't need your opinion, narrator.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So this Levy and Roderick are the troublemakers. Do we know where they were least seen?
Not to my knowledge, Daggeron, sir. They could be on their way to Sodor as we speak. That's the thing, Gordon. They could be anywhere by now. Let's hunt those poor-wee things out. Nine, Dunny. We must have a plan to stop these troublemakers. Agreed. Let's keep our wits open to the possibility that Roderick and Levi will be coming to Sodor in the next few days. And the Edges agreed. The next several days, the Edges were working their damn fucking hardest, trying to keep on to time with their work. Daggeron did assist whenever he could, but it was clear that the sorcerer was sensing the danger was more and more imminent by the day. On the other railway, Levi and Roderick were plotting. It's a shame. What is? Think about it, Roderick. Fathead has mistreated us Diesels. Diesel 10 failed to destroy the magical engine and the railway leading to that, what's it called, shining time? As far as I know, those blasted steamers are out of date and deserve to be scrapped, unlike one of our own who rightfully got what was his, Dudley. Yeah, it was a big piece of work. He never learned, even after you failed. To tell you the truth, I derailed at a set of points and... Save it, Roderick. After all, you have the experience. You mean we. Fair point. But I truly believe we have to take all the precautions necessary to ensure all the steam engines are scrapped, and that fat controller will have no choice but to rely on Diesel only to run his toy railway. Boko owes me big after all. You will have your chance, Roderick. D5702 is clearly not on the winning team. Oh, trust me, he never will get what we Diesels are truly built for. If Jasper Fitzgerald was here now, he would... Jasper almost won the war against the Sudrians, but no. To my understanding, and if the rumors are true, that he changed sides and sacrificed himself, destroying Diesel 1000, and everyone else inside that fiery shed. Yes, it was quite the way to go out. And please stop interrupting me when I speak, Levi. So sorry, Roderick. Where are my manners? Yes. Knowing you for this long, it would be a shame to, well, not let the cat out of the bag too soon. It seems there is a long goods train needed to go to the island. I have an idea. Just go with it. And follow my lead. Understood, Levi. As the troublesome Diesels made their devious schemes, on Sodor, the engines were working twice as hard. At the yards, the Solar Streak locomotive was in a siding. Then Percy, who had returned from pulling the mail train in the night, all unbeknownst to Daggeron, spoke. Excuse me, sir, but I just remembered something I'd been wanting to ask you.
What would that be, Percy?
Your engine, is it able to pull normal trains?
Like the one you pull? Sorry, Percy. The coupling system is unique.
Hello. You must be the newest visitor to Sodor. My name is Sir Topham Hatt. I am the Director of Operations here on the island, and I must say your engine does look very splendid indeed.
Thank you, sir. I am Daggeron.
Pleasure to meet you, Daggeron. You know Percy did raise a point. If you want, no rush. We would like you to help with the ongoing passengers and freight services.
Thank you, sir. The Solar Streak Megazord here has a special coupling that can't interact with rolling stock on the railway. I am sorry, but there is a way I can help.
Do tell, Daggeron.
Well, here they are.
As if like magic, on the siding next to the Solar Streak stood 4 large coaches. Their paint was shining brightly in the sun. Sir Topham Hatt was shocked. Well, I'll be. Those are the most beautiful coaches I have ever seen, Daggeron. I would like you to use your engine and show the passengers on the island of Sodor from your engine's perspective. Try not to show off now.
Not to worry, Sir Topham. I had to mature many students of mine over the years.
That's very good. The passengers are waiting at the station, so you mustn't be late. Daggeron wasted no time and boarded his engine. The Solar Streak made its way to the platform. The passengers were very impressed. Gordon was very shocked. Wow, what a consist! The engine gleamed in the sunshine. Its paint sparkled almost like it was a perfect engine filled with purity, clarity, and sincerity. The engine's fire burned brightly as Genji stoked the fire into the firebox. Daggeron opened the regulator and the Solar Streak puffed grandly out of the station. It ran to time, puffing as fast as possible across the island. The passengers enjoyed themselves immensely. The coaches clattered behind, gliding like almost the engine was flying on thin air. But sadly, the Prince of Bel-Air was not present at the time due to a faulty signal in West Philadelphia. Daggeron was checking on the gauges.
Steady, we're not in danger here. Hold on.
What's wrong?
I sense the danger is coming sooner than we thought. We must warn the others.
The Solar Streak charged up Gordon's Hill and down the other side. Not wanting to show concern to the passengers, they were delivered to their destinations right on time.
Great work. Now let's warn the others before it's too late.
The Solar Streak charged back to the sheds. Meanwhile, on the other railway... Better! Besides, I like it when there's no insufferable narrations. Then how are we going to fulfill our plan with this very long train? Quite simply, we'll double-head the train and I got a better idea. We'll get another diesel to help pull the train, but we'll sneak behind and run onto a siding out of the way. A brilliant idea, Roderick. As the diesels were scheming their plan, on Sodor, Sir Topman arrived at the sheds. There's a goods train on the other railway that needs to be brought here, as most of you are currently tied up with your work. I have decided to send D199 over to collect the train. Leave it to me, sir. Besides, I've long since changed my ways of reliable engine this, reliable engine that. Just be careful. Daggeron senses that there's danger close by. Understood, sir. And Sir Topman walked away. This sounds very troubling. Surely, it isn't Diesel 10. He's at the refinery. Or that Dudley. If it's Dudley, me and Donald will be glad to give him a thrashing and more. You just sounded like Dougie there, Bear. I mean, you did tell me it could be too little, too late for Dudley wherever he is now. We got more pressing matters to deal with. You're right, Douglas. I advise we get some rest. The engines agreed, and all went to sleep, except 199, who decided to collect the goods train on his own. He got to the railway in record time. He collected the goods train and set off back to Sodor, not realizing he was coupled to the back end of the consist. He journeyed all the way to Vickerstown when disaster struck. That will show that traitor's Diesel. Well done, Roderick. Now quickly, shut the train at the bay platform. Then we'll find somewhere to hide for the night. Levi and Roderick shunted the train at the platform, then ran to find a shed to spend the night. By the morning, there was confusion. The train did arrive, but D199 was nowhere to be found. That was till Terrence saw something in the river below. 199? Is that you? Of course it is. Get help. Terrence wasted no time. Murdoch arrived with the breakdown train and Sir Topham Hatt. Now, how did this happen? I don't know, sir. One moment, I was approaching the drawbridge. The next, I get shoved off the rails and end up here. Last time that happened, it was under different circumstances, but that's not the point. What we need to figure out is what was the root cause of the accident. Murdoch will take you to the works while the accident is under investigation. D199 was in the works all day. Fortunately, a majority of the damage was to his front and not engine. If waterlogged, the diesel would have died on the spot. The investigation was ongoing, but the strangest thing did happen as to the shock of the investigation team. The security cameras on the barrow side of the bridge malfunctioned, and to no end, the camera would not properly read the files correctly. The investigative team said, quote, "Fuck it!" One said, quote, "Shit, this is awful," and another said, "God damn it!" But Sir Tom had urged to press forward till all options were exhausted on the table. Despite this, work did continue on the island of Sodor, but D199 was still being repaired. Started to have suspicion. What if I was being followed to Sodor? On the Scarlery Railway, Peter, Sim, and Reneas were double-heading a goods train to the lakeside loop. The news spread across the island like wildfire. It could have been a stowaway, or a faulty spot on the tracks. You never know what it could be. I know that, Peter Sam, but my question lies with who did this and why. Same here, Reneas, but what could have caused the accident? I have a theory, said Duncan, who was waiting with a passenger train of his own. What if it was a smelly diesel? Duncan, now, I thought you would... Yes, I'm over my hesitation towards diesels, but Doc did tell me about his run-in with Diesel when he first came to the island. Dudley was sent back to the other railway recently, after his vagrancy was exposed. He despises diesels through and through. I bet he has already gone scrap by this point. You could be right, Reneas, but I'm hoping that whoever caused the accident D199 will be stopped once for all. I can quite agree with you on that one, Duncan. And Duncan puffed away with his passenger train. When he arrived at Crowan's Gate, he saw Oliver with his auto coaches. You've been hearing the news recently, Oliver? Yes, I have. Now I'm worried that Daggeron has sensed the danger already is here on the island. But where is it? And who is the questions? I am certainly not willing to find out quite yet. I have a feeling who it is, or they are, but when that time does come, I'll certainly be ready to defend for my rights, and all of the others' rights of the other engines. Oliver puffed away, leaving Duncan with a sickening feeling within his boiler. At the incline, Alfie, Max, and Monty were helping Sir Handel and Bertram with a slate delivery bound for the mainland. Sir Handel was waiting for his loaded trucks to be lowered down the bank. As the empties rised over the hill, Bertram noticed the pack members were far ahead of their timetables. On break, are we? Well, we're pretty much done here, so yes, Bertram. A nice rest will do. Well, duh. I mean, look at all the slate we found. It is a hard-working environment for the workmen up there. Peter Sam had his accidents here, if I recall. That's a long story. Peter Sam, although helping Rheneas with the passengers, had a line of loaded slate wagons crash into him when he and Sir Handel arrived on the island. Sir Handel didn't want to be reminded of the accident, as he faked being ill thanks to listening to Gordon's advice. We all had our mistakes, you know. I jumped in at the wrong time, but made out for it saving Thomas. I was stuck in the mud, but it took Byron to save me. I just had the most wild adventure yet. You mean when you were siding with Phil Bogaston? I mean, I was calm as a cucumber the whole time. Yes, Jasper did sacrifice himself destroying Bogaston and Owen Ruth, but this time they're truly defeated. That weird Diesel too as well. Diesel 1000, ugh, he was a piece of work. I mean, no wonder they called him the Spider Diesel for nothing or for something. Then the last loaded trucks descended downwards to Bertram. He coupled up and made his way to Crovan's Gate Station. We're coming with you, Bertram, as Brandon will take us back to the yards. I always like company on my journeys, especially my driver and fireman's company. Bertram, Jack, Alfie, Max, and Monty made their way to the station. Sir Handel stayed behind to ensure the sidings were in order before he headed back to the sheds for a rest. Meanwhile, Thomas was waiting at Elsbridge with his passengers. Bertie hadn't arrived yet. Thomas was growing concerned. I'm a guaranteed connection. Bertie, come on. It's been too long since you've... Before Thomas finished his sentence, Bertie arrived tired and thankful to see Thomas. Sorry, Thomas. A cow strayed from his field. The farmer had to take it away using butter to feast. Cows love butter, I know that, teased Thomas. Oh dear. I am low on petrol. I do need a hero.
Leave it to me.
You must be Daggeron.
Indeed, I am here all good now, should be on your way. I sense you will make up for lost time.
Yes, Daggeron, sir. I will. And Bertie, thankful to be saved from his awkward predicament, rolled away. However, Daggeron was still troubled. Daggeron, sir, are you still sensing the darkness?
Yes, Thomas, I am. It's close, but I just can't put my finger on where exactly.
Well, keep an eye out in case something does turn up.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thomas puffed away, leaving Daggeron with much to think about. On the Scarlery Railway, Mr. Percival was worried. Oh, goodness. What's wrong, Mr. Percival? I have been told by the investigation team that they have uncorrupted the file and... And what, Mr. Percival? The files uncovered show who was behind the train, and it's best you see for yourself. The footage played. In the video, it showed D199 pulling the goods train, but then it cut it out. Replay that last bit. Gladly, sir. The footage was slowed. Stop it right there. At that frame. Do I see? What is it, sir? Oh, no. It can't be. I see it too, sir. Those are two diesels that... Those stowaways are diesels that were banished from my island a long time ago. I have to warn the engines at the sheds. Same here, sir. Great catch. Both controllers roared away to their respective locations. At the main sheds, Sir Tom had addressed the situation. Upon investigation, we found what could most likely be the case of what caused D199's accident. The footage and still were shown to the engines. Boko was shot. It can't be. You know them, Boko? Yes, I do. It's Levi and Roderick. Oh, those two, they still haven't changed. A long time ago, they were on trial on Sodor, just after Diesel 10, Splatter, and Dodge were sent away. They were hard-working, but mostly troublesome. In the end, they were sent away after causing a derailment outside Kildane. The trucks and coaches were wrong to trust those two.
However,
interrupted Daggeron,
those two followed Diesel 10's footsteps, wanting to destroy the Magic Railroad. I encountered those two on my own, just as they returned to the railway. As revenge, they instantly derailed the solar streak. There was damage to it, but I used most of my power to repair the Zord.
I do wish we could stop them somehow.
But there is more to the story of my engine.
What would that be, Daggeron?
My engine, or Zord, can travel through dimensions across the galaxy.
So like a time machine?
Not exactly, but you have seen throughout my time here, my engine can operate like a normal locomotive despite its limitations.
It's understandable with the coupling systems and all.
Levy and Modric are going to stop at nothing to harness all the magic on the Magic Railroad. Myself, brother and lady included.
Wait, you know Lady?
Burnett Stone and I shared a deep connection just after you saved Lady from the clutches of those meddling diesels. We talked a lot about Magic Shining Time, and more I was saddened when he passed away a few years back. I did witness Lady from afar, from her revival to her helping fellow diesel of the Scarlowy Railway. She is an amazing engine.
That little diesel is Rusty. He's a kind engine. So you haven't met Lady yet? Well, we will have to meet her in order to stop Roderick and Levi. But what about the Master and the others that gave you trouble?
Calendor and Imperius would have as for Garag, he was Liambo under the Master's control the entire time.
It does make a lot of sense. It also makes a lot of sense as to who caused D199's accident in the first place. 199 will be out of the works tomorrow. I sense he'll be very furious with the revelation.
I can agree with you, sir.
That we have to be prepared for both diesels when they show up. Everyone agreed and began making their plans. Meanwhile, in Hero's hideout... God damn it! What's wrong? I sense we're being found out. Relax. It's been a few days? I am well aware of that, Captain Obvious. My issue is that we could be spotted any day now. The question remains, where are those magic buffers? My understanding tells me that the buffers are located outside a little grotto. The grotto, yes! If we can find it, we can destroy that engine once and for all. And you getting revenge on D5702 as well. Indeed. As the diesels were planning to destroy the Magic Railroad, Murdoch was enjoying a peaceful journey across the countryside, pulling passengers and freight, as he was making up for lost time due to a faulty signal again, and yet again the signal's neglected, and... I can hear you, narrator, whoever you are. I was just off a virtual meeting with Sans, and no, not Sans the Undertale to avoid confusion. Sorry, sir. Anywho, Murdoch was making great time when suddenly... Oh no, not again. There was sheep on the line again. The sheep again broke through the fence again. Murdoch was stranded, and yet again and again, time after time, the sheep were stranded. The firemen tried to run back to get the telephone, but the sheep said hell no to the request. But within the secrets of Murdoch's cab, the driver pulled out his cell phone to call for help. Eventually, Tobias, the hybrid tram engine, rang his bell at the loudest tone possible, much to the disturbance of Agent Andrews, who was currently occupied with importal rest, the rest essential to all vitamins and nutrients with the minds of the drivers, firemen, workmen, and Sir Topham Hats, to ensure a brightful, cheerful, and successful day, and... Oi, narrator, we get the point! Well, you did it now. They're back in front of you again. Let's try that again. In no time, Toby was able to guide the sheep back into the fields. Thank you, Toby. You're a lightsaber. Another Jedi Master for nothing. I meant to say a lifesaver. Bruh. And both engines made their separate ways to get their jobs done on time. Meanwhile, Terrence was in his field. If you dare say what I think you're going to say, Terrence was in his field threshing the corn. Smells like a fresh harvest. Terrence was pleased. Thomas stopped at the signal showing it was red. He saw Terrence working away. Now that's the Terrence I know. Everything okay, Thomas? Yes, Terrence, just that darkness? Oh, yeah. Whatever it is, wherever it is, we can stop it. Indeed, Terrence. But how? We can't just abandon our jobs again. All these encounters have caused Sir Topham had a lot of financial problematics, and it will work out, Thomas. Faith within the magic of the island. Thank you, Terrence. The signal fell to green. Must be off, Terrence. That corn smells wonderful. Thank you, Thomas. Bye now. On the main line, the solar streaks thundered down the line. The engine puffed proudly and proudly along the line. The passengers once more enjoyed the splendid journey. They noticed how well the coaches glided gently along the line. The passengers enjoyed the first-class experience and thought to themselves how fortunate they were to be part of a prestige mainline engine service.
Let's keep to time. It's imperative we're not late.
The Solar Streak pounded the rails and went as fast as it could, and before long, the engine arrived at the station. The passengers cheered for the amazing service. Daggeron was pleased, but knew that the darkness was imminent and time was running out before it was too late. Meanwhile, Ned and Oliver were helping at a site and were finishing up for the day. Not long now. So far, so good. We could get this done ahead of schedule. I wonder how the others are getting on. Euler told me that yes, indeed, Jack and the others are heading back to the yards. So let's take our time before we make it back. I do long for a rest. You don't often say that, Oliver. Well, no. It's just that my arm is starting to wear, and I may have to go into the works soon. I don't know how much longer till... Till what, Oliver? You're not thinking of retiring? Oh, goodness, no, Ned. I would just need a thorough repair and it would be fine. Oh, that's a relief. Miss Jenny would be very concerned had all else failed. Trust me, Ned. Always Miss Jenny has a way to make certain we are in full 100% working condition each day. Ned felt a lot better after that, and continued to help Oliver once the work was finished. Both made their way back to the yards. However, elsewhere, Sir Tapman was growing concerned. Roderick and Levi, show yourselves. Traitors they were and always will be.
I sense you in trouble, sir.
Yes, Daggeron, I am. Roderick and Levi are close, aren't they?
I would advise you let them come to us instead of us coming to them.
Duly noted, Daggeron. But why? After all this time, those two...
Seems they will never learn.
They will learn the hard way when we all confront them. United we stand. Together we fall. Oh, Lord. Sorry, sir. We were just passing through. I couldn't help but reference my alliance Thomas and I made way back in the day. Understandable, Gordon. But we must be prepared. For the darkness? For what is about to come? Yes, Thomas and Gordon. The darkness is near. Then we will confront it together. You help me, and I help you. And you two best be off to warn the others of the impending danger that lies ahead.
So Topham.
Yes, Daggeron.
The Magic Railroad.
It's not too far from here. Go meet up with Brandon. He will show you the way.
Thank you, sir.
Daggeron, Genie, and the Solar Streak met up with I at Ellsbridge Junction. Daggeron, nice to see you.
So Topham has advised me for you to take me to see Lady.
Understood. Follow me. We have no time to waste. I guided Daggeron towards the magic buffers. Okay, follow my lead, everyone. We're going through the buffers.
Wow, amazing.
The Magic Railroad had never felt so more alive in all its existence. Then a whistle could be heard. It sounds like Lady. Lady pumped grandly towards myself and Daggeron. She looked very splendid.
Lady, is that you?
You must beat the Solaris Knight, Knight Daggeron I am. Lady, a pleasure to have met you at long last.
Deepest condolence for you, your late owner, Burnett Stone. He was a good man and a man of his word.
Thank you, but I see you seek guidance.
A darkness is coming, Lady, once again.
Is it Diesel 10 again? Has he returned?
No, Lady. It's much worse. 2 other Diesels have returned to the island named Levi and Roderick. They snuck onto the island after D-199 had to collect a goods train destined for Vickerstown. D-199 is in the works, following an accident with those troublesome Diesels, and now we need to team up to stop them both before they harness any of the magic.
Then we must unite our powers together to stop them both.
This could pose a risk for one or even both of them. Trying to enter through the buffers, one of us should head back and guard them against them.
Then there was trouble.
We're not alone.
I'll stop them.
No one responded. Then...
Something is off.
You're right, Lady. The buffers are blocked. I can't get through them.
The entrance must have been blocked intentionally, so more time could be bought.
There has to be another way.
There is, but only I can do this.
Are you sure, Brandon?
Yes, Daggeron. If I can teleport myself through a portal, I could get back to the others. You did mention you could travel through dimensions.
Yes, I can. I am able to create a portal so you can get back to the others.
Thank you, Daggeron. I promise to be back and free you and Lady from the blockade. Once the portal opened, I charged through the other side and got back to the others just in time. Brandon, what was that? You didn't need to play that trick on us again, no. Duck is quite right, Ginger Jesus. Gordon, this isn't funny. This isn't good, I take it. No, it isn't. Lady and Daggeron are trapped on the Magic Railroad. The buffers are blocked. Brandon is correct. Mr. Topman arrived at the sheds with a serious look. A news outlet told me that Debris is blocking the entrance to the buffers. Thus no one can get in or out, regardless if magic is in the possession of the Sum. However, I would advise caution, as Levi and Roderick were spotted near the little grotto. Those pesky diesels. We need to stop them before anyone gets hurt. I knew those thugs would show up again. D199 had returned to the works, prepared and very disgruntled by the revelation of Levi and Roderick being on Sodor. I say we banish... No, wait. That's already been done. I meant let's show them how we Sudreys deal with confusion and delay. Delay and confusion? Mr. Percival, wait. What are you doing here? And second, it's confusion and delay. Delay and confusion. Confusion and delay. Delay and confusion. Can we not deal with this, please, sirs? We have friends that need our help. You're right. Sorry, Gordon. All my engines are safe and accounted for. Good. Let's go find those diesels once and for all. Let's split into 2 teams to track down both diesels. D199, you will take Henry, James, Toby, and a few others. I'll take Murdoch, Gordon, Emily, Donald, and Douglas. Let's find those diesels. They give them hell. As a piece of crate for woods. And stop having my express delayed. Okay, if there's nothing further to be discussed, let's go save Sodor once more. The engines made their ways in hopes of stopping Levi and Roderick. The sun was beginning to set as I led the team towards the buffers. Any sign? Not yet, Gordon. Surely, their location said they were here. I sense a decoy. Or worse, an ambush. Let's keep on our wheels. Not far now. As the search deepened, D199 was very concerned. It's not like you getting concerned most often. Those pesky diesels caused a lot of trouble. Even when I was sent away the first time after you saved me in Bear. I do have full sympathy for you and for what you endured in the railway. This is your home now, and always it will be. Thank you, Henry. How far till we find either one of them? James, stop complaining now. I'm not complaining, I'm very concerned. James, we're all very, very concerned to this point. I wouldn't be surprised if Bertie was kidnapped and used as the blockade against the buffers. You never knew, James. Shh! We could be spotted at any moment. Agreed. Let's not lose our focus. D199 led his side towards the viaduct. Meanwhile, I led my side towards Brendam Docks, as they were also seen. But when we arrived, all that there was a strong scent of fish that hung in the air. Oh, bother. Bother yourself, Gordon. This was yet another false lead. I sensed they're at the buffers already about to enter to attack. You could be right, Thomas. So let's backtrack in. At that moment, I sensed Levi and Roderick's presence close by. Everyone, let's meet up at the buffers now. Roderick and Levi are at the magic buffers. I repeat. You don't have to tell me twice, Brandon. Both sides rushed to the scene. When they arrived, they found what the problem was. That's a pile of scrap. It should be moved out of the way before. Is that right? You're not going anywhere, Sodrians. Levi and Roderick emerged from the sidings, grinning in triumph. You will free our friends, both of you. That will be necessary, Tovis. Besides, little Tekken does always deserve a back seat in the rearview mirror of victory. The tiresome lot will be first, all of you, and then the rest of the island. All steam will be history. Diesel will rule once again. And the magic will all be ours. In fact, we've just started. What do you mean? You see, 7101. I have a name now. 7101. We both now have magic. And we can do whatever we choose. Our choices with magic will be more wiser than ever. 7101 and D5702 will be the first victims of our magic. Roderick. Ah, yes. D5702, your class was failures in the eyes of Dr. Beeching, but now it's time to make you a part of the winning team. Join me, and Levi, and we will give you everything you want. My friends are the winning team, Roderick. You and Levi will stand down at once. I can't believe you two were responsible for D199's accident in the first place. You both are lucky that no one was hurt in the derailment, and both of you are still banished from Sodor. I asked you leave here at once. Sorry, sir, but we don't take orders from wealthy, rich, fat men like you. Besides, Your island will be a strictly diesel railway before long. Sir Tomat's face went red as James. He then said, "You sickening diesels! You're lucky my father is not here right now. Otherwise he would have had a comeback insult hurled at both your exhausts." As the battle waged on outside the buffers on the Magic Railroad, Daggeron and Lady were contemplating ideas to escape the railroad in hopes of saving the others.
I guess since we're trapped here, this would be a great time, an opportunity to understand you much more.
Burnett Stone always took care of me, especially after my accident with PT Boomer and Diesel 10.
I have heard that Boomer is locked away for a very long time.
He was after the Big Dipper collapsed Diesel 10. Splatter and Dodge were sent back to the other railway in disgrace. Boomer was sentenced to prison for a very long time, however.
Yes, lady.
In 2005, the Diesels did return to the island Splatter, and Dodge did redeem themselves, and are now permanent members of Sodor.
What about Diesel 10? Was he sent back?
He was, but after a hurricane tore the island apart, he was returned to Sodor to help clean the debris off the tracks. It took the courage of Thomas himself to confront 10 after the airport, which was under construction at the time, became a mess. Everyone was shocked to see how fast Diesel 10 changed after that day. Since then, Sir Topham Hatt gave Diesel another chance. He redeemed himself and is now at the Sodor Diesel Works. I only wish he were here to save us.
I'd like anything to save us from this turmoil.
You did suggest we combine our magic.
That will require Brandon, but he may have to save that when we defeat Levy and Roderick.
Well, we'll figure a way out somehow, I hope.
As Lady was contemplating the all options are on the table scenario, I was in the midst of battling both diesels, ensuring they would be defeated. But I realized that it would be a very tall task to defeat two diesels, armed with the magic matching ladies, Daggerons, and my own. Seems you both can't catch a break. Oh, we barely broke a sweat, and you're really starting to annoy us. This take-it is starting to anger us. Agreed, Roderick, do something. No, you do something. I'm dealing with D5702. Me? I'm the one having to put up with this sorry excuse of an E2, and I have to put up with an old enemy of mine. More or less, engines. Once D5702 is gone, I'll deal with you next, 701. My name is Bear, and I have a name as well. It's Boko. You should have rotted on the other railway, and I should have been the one to remain on Sodor. Oh yes, a safe haven. Yet there's rats among us. Those are the same words someone we know too well said before he was found out. Dudley was making mincemeat out of you, and yet failed just when he had everything according to plan to rid of you. Sodor is my home. Boko's home, not yours. This is your final warning, Levi and Roderick. Leave Sodor before I take action on the both of you. Your controller will be ashamed in you both. He will be proud that we have magic now, and greatly pleased with how hard we worked to get back to Sodor. This banter is going on like it's the 60s all over again. Don't remind me. Brent told me that certain songs from the 70s amplified the yards in Brighton after he left for Canada. As the fighting waged on, Duke and Bertram, who were doubling a passenger train, stopped at Crovan's Gate. They then sensed danger close by. Sounds like trouble. Very serious trouble. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go save our friends. But how can we? We can't physically get over there. There's no tracks that lead to the grotto. We won't go there physically, but I have a way to distract those two diesels and their plans. Duke explained his plan. Bertram was delighted. Let's notify the others. We need their help. Bertram was right. Once the other engines were gathered at the sheds, their plan was put into action. Once I give the word, we blow our whistles, long and loud, to distract the darkness. Will it work, though? Trust Duke. He knows what he's talking about. On the Mid-Sodor, I had to do the same thing when poor John was stuck in the snow. It took ages for them to dig John out, before rescue crews came to his aid. I thought John would be stuck till he was frozen. What a silly engine he was. It wasn't his fault. Stuart, Falcon, deep breaths. Agreed. We have to help our friends. They're in great danger. Give us the word when ready, Duke. Thank goodness bird isn't going to be the word this time. Terrence and Bertie were on standby and wanted to partake. We didn't want to miss out on the action. Any assistance greatly appreciated to you. Then Jack and the pack arrived. We're here to help too. Miss Jetty said it would be okay to help our friends. Well, we didn't want to sit around while the action was ongoing. That's great, you guys. Let's deal with them. Those intruders will be sent into the sun, if that's what it will take. Soon everyone was in position. On the count of 3, we sound our whistles, bells, and horns. Back at the grotto, however, you're such a waste. Any last words before we stop you?
I got some!
Out of the buffers came Lady, and right behind her was the Solar Streak. Daggeron on board. Levi and Roderick were horrified. Daggeron! How did you...
The power of magic can only be wielded by the chosen few. You two aren't any of them.
Oh, we can change that. Wait a minute. Nothing's happening. You see, while I was distracting you, that caused you to drain all the power you created from the well, thus draining your powers completely. Donald, Douglas, block the entrance to the buffers. Henry, James, protect the well and grotto. Yes, sir. Ordered, sir. We'll defend those buffers. Even if our lives depend upon it. 1. Daggeron. Lady. Let's combine our magic and teach these diesels a valuable lesson. 2.
Let's do this!
For Sodor.
3. Combine! The magic combined caused both Levi and Roger to derail. As they were shot backwards, they lay on their sides in disgrace. We did it! We won!
Checkmate!
Checkmate? Now I am confused. So am I.
Every time I defeat an enemy, I and my fellow rangers would say that to ensure that the defeat of the enemy or enemies that we encounter.
A fitting phrase to end this charade. Now I will be writing my views later. Now that this mess is finally sorted and dealt with, we will clean this mess up at once. The scrap that was blocking the magic buffers was taken to the scrapyard, and Bear and D199 took Levi and Roderick back to the other railway. With them was a goods train destined for the mainland, and the other railway was its first stop. Pleasant journeys, Levi. Rot in the damp, cold sidings, Roderick, bellowed the surging diesels. Levi and Roderick said nothing. Defeated and silent throughout the journey, once in the other railway, Bear and D199 brought the train as a final reminder and tootled all the way back to Sodor. The magic railroad was restored once more, and Lady hadn't felt so proud in her life, and soon life on Sodor returned to normal. But by then, the busy stretch concluded, and it was time for Daggeron to return to Briarwood. Daggeron, the Solaris Knight. It was an honor having you visit my railway. You and the Solar Streak and your genie friend are more than welcome to return to the island at any time. And please send our greetings to your friends and colleagues in Briarwood.
The pleasure is all mine, Sir Topham Hatt, and farewell to everyone on the island of Sodor till we meet again.
Daggeron boarded the Solar Streak. He, Gingy, and the proud locomotive departed through a portal opening to Briarwood. The engine and its 4 coaches in tow vanished behind the portal. The engines were amazed. Next time Daggeron comes back, remind me to tell him to use his engine to send any future troublemakers to another dimension. Of course, Sir Topham Hatt, I will make note of that. Thank you, Brandon. Now with Roderick and Levi defeated, it's back to work as usual. I just hope we won't have to deal with these situations for a long while. Agreed, sir. Too right. Aye, the more the merrier. As the engines resumed their duties, they didn't take notice of an engine who was hell-bent on taking the magic railroad for her own greed. But that's a story for another day.